the Avoid Overload podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nate Dufresne, alongside my co-host,
Infamous Jamie.
aka James Brandt. For those of you in the legal world, we have a guest with us this week. We have the infamous Jamie's brother, aka Big Bad John 08, on the Xbox Live. So this should be fun. We are on location this week. If you haven't noticed, we are in the mansion. The man dungeon. We came up with some other names for it too, but they aren't podcast safe. We try to stay, safe for work. So
You gotta be savvy.
that's right. That's right. We're not going to say the things that are going on behind the camera, but yeah. So let's kick it off this week like we do every week. Jamie, what are you drinking?
I have a new one-off from 21st Amendment called Toaster Pastry. It says it's an homage to the new brewery, which was a pastry factory.
Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. I like that.
It is a red ale IPA style. It says.
Red ale. Okay.
Yeah. It's a little higher in octane. It's a 7.6, 74 IBU. It really doesn't taste like it's 74 IBUs. It's a little lighter. All in all, it's fantastic.
Great. And is that's number one? Or have you had more than one of those?
This is number one of this.
Number one of that. Okay.
I didn't understand what you meant.
I figured. And John, what are you drinking?
I have a Brooklyn lager, of course, by the Brooklyn Brewery out of Utica. 5.2 alcohol content. Just your typical lager. I mean, really enjoy it. It's smooth. Goes down easy. Really good beer.
Very good. And this week I have something a little bit different. Apparently I miss San Diego, and I needed a little taste of that again. And I picked up a very nice growler for the podcast from a local bottle shop. And this is the San Diego style pale ale, 394. That was brewed for the Tony Gwynn. I believe it was the Tony Gwynn Foundation by AleSmith. And like I said, this is a San Diego style pale ale. So nice and hoppy, lots of hop aroma, very citrusy, great beer all around.
It's very crisp.
Very crisp. This is definitely it's fresh to Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh in general. Very good. I'm very happy with this beer. I had it when I was at AleSmith a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago. But that was post Green Flash Brewery tour and post couple beers at AleSmith. So I would not be able to pinpoint the taste of it prior to this. It is very good. And I think that takes us through our intro. So let's kick off the news. Jamie.
All right, the first story is Facebook Live, now more discoverable, shareable, and interactive. This is an interesting offshoot. I think it's more of a competitive thing for Facebook to compete with everybody else. If you're a big Facebook user, it'll fall right in line. It's going to allow us mere mortals, as I put it, or not just celebrities with Facebook Live. You get to connect. You get to interact more with your social networks. You're going to be able to know where people are, be able to track the people down. You can share videos and watch them live with other people.
So you can go to their house and knock on their door if they're leaving crappy comments. Perfect. I like
to hunt my people down.
That's how we have so many people watching the podcast. We hunt them down and thank them, and then if they say they didn't like it, then
that's how our viewer numbers doubled.
That's it. That's it.
You will watch this. You will watch it now,
and you'll watch it multiple times. It's okay. So let's see. They also have an option where you can specify groups that you want to share video with specifically. So say you have they said a class or something where you want to share a video with this specific class that you're in, or your bowling league or whatever. You can do that. So this is also an iteration or yeah, basically an iteration of Facebook Mentions, which was popular for that was made available for people of note on Facebook. So internet celebrities and celebrities in general. So this is made available to the greater public. It's basically Facebook's play towards Periscope, Meerkat, the upcoming YouTube Live. So yeah, anything else you wanna say about that one? I think it's pretty straightforward. Not much that's different compared to the other live streaming.
Well, and like you
apps out
said,
there.
with YouTube Live coming,
Yeah,
this is a quick stab to hope to grab the people before they go to YouTube.
right. One of the things that I noticed, I was listening to a podcast on my way down here today from Twit. It was This Week in Google. They were talking about it, and they were actually using it during the podcast. And one of the neat things that they said is you can see on a map where the people are from that are currently watching you. So
wow.
you can see if there are people from Australia or the UK or wherever the people are from, and then it kind of draws lines back to where you are. So it kind of gives you a visual representation of the global scale of Facebook and the things that they can do at a moment's notice.
Watch the virus spread.
That's it. That's it. So the more popular you get, the bigger your virus infection area gets. I like that analogy. I think that's all I have for Facebook Live. You got anything
Nope.
else? We're good. So next up, we have the Beyond Ink pen. Tries to mesh pens with technology. This is a cluster. That's the way that I'll put it. Basically, this is a pen. It's a ballpoint pen that has a stylus, battery charger, flash drive, all in one unit. Which I guess to some point it sounds like a good idea, but the execution is nowhere near where it needs to be. It has a 1,000 milliamp hour battery charger in it, which what's that gonna do? I mean, I guess that'll get you through in a pinch, but I would rather carry one of those little micro adapters, and you could throw a like a keychain adapter and throw a little charger in your pocket. You'd be better off than that. They said it's longer, heavier, and larger around than a standard ballpoint pen.
All things Nate wants.
Again, Jamie goes to places that I don't encourage him to go ever.
I'll never.
And this
go
is
there.
the safe for work version.
I'll never go there. I'm not going to inspect it and check.
We're not talking about my Beyond Ink pen.
And Nate is right. This thing is huge compared to a normal pen. We're not talking. It's going to look like it's going to be cumbersome to use, uncomfortable. It's not something you're going to write with much.
Right. And then they said that so you unscrew the top cap on it, and that's what gives you the flash drive portion, which I believe is a 32 gigabyte flash drive. Then under the pen clip, there's a piece that swivels out, and that's the battery charger. And then they said it depends on which way you swivel that to charge the 1,000 milliamp hour external battery in it. I don't know. Also, how many people use styluses? Do you use a stylus?
No.
Do you use it? Right.
No.
My little boy uses a stylus on his DS.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Because you're forced to.
Right.
Because everything's so small.
Right. And this is a whole different thing than the Apple Pencil. You know, that makes sense. That's a fine-tipped, very precise device. A stylus is, I don't understand. I've seen people use it. The only time I see people using them are people who have to use iPads at stores to check you out.
Right.
Sears.
Right. So places like that. Other than that, you just don't see
Look
people
at the-
using them.
And it only
Placement.
has 32 gigabytes of memory.
Right.
Yeah, it's useless.
And look at the
it's a drop
placement of
of
that
water
battery
in the
charger. You're
ocean.
going to break that off.
Absolutely. Can you imagine this sticking out of your laptop or out of your desktop? You'll snap it off.
Right.
So basically, if you want to break your USB port, buy one of these. And so all that being said, no, it's a 16 gigabyte. So it's not
even worse.
Right.
Even
So it's
worse.
16 gigabytes, $70. $70. So they say in the article here, this is from Android Central. They say, so it's up to you to decide whether you want to have this one device with all these things in it or buy them individually. Buy them individually. The other thing where I feel like they missed something that really would have made it more useful is make it a USB OTG and on the go, so that you can plug it into your phone and use the memory off of it for that. Why they didn't do that, I have no clue. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't know. I think this thing is a piece of junk. We're not going to hear about it again, especially there was another story out this week about Moleskine and their smart notebook and pen that it actually transcribes the things that you're writing to an Evernote notebook for you.
Now, see, that I get.
Right.
But much more useful.
Much more useful. I believe it's a lot more expensive. I want to say it's probably in the $130 to $150 range. But if I can take notes in a meeting and that's automatically moved over to my Evernote notebook, that makes a lot more sense to me.
Now, my only question with this is, why did Android Central make such a big deal about this?
My guess, they probably got paid to write the story. I mean, I can't say that for sure. I have no clue, but
it does seem kind of absurd.
Or the person who wrote this is Jen Carner. This could be something she was interested in and was like, hey, buy me one of these things for $70, or reached out, or they just sent them and she needed to reach her quota for the week and said, well, I guess I'll write about this. I don't know.
I get that.
Right. Does anybody else want to bash this real quick before we move on? No? Okay. Cheers. Go ahead, Jamie.
Oh, it is my turn again.
Yes, it is.
All right. So next we have a new Domino's app.
Which we all needed.
Oh, yeah. That as soon as you open it, orders your favorite pizza. No clicks.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
I like that.
Until your kids get a hold of it.
Right.
Just keep continually reopening it.
Right.
Daddy, we're getting 14 pizzas.
Or they my kids would see the coloring and think it's a game. And to them, it would be a game. Hey, I open this app and some person shows up at the door.
It says, what that pizza craving hits. When that pizza craving hits, the faster you get your hands on a slice of pie, the better. Don't waste any time when ordering your next one. Use 0 clicks.
Wow.
Yeah. So I do have to give some credit to Domino's. They've really been stepping up. They keep rolling out apps. Their website is really good. I don't know if you've ordered from Domino's lately, but their website is really good. They're really pushing things out. You can text your order with emojis. You can tweet your order. All these things are really, they're doing all the right things. And I guarantee there's people who are going to use this. People who love Domino's. Every Friday night, they order a pizza, they hit it, or it's 2 a.m. and you've had a few San Diego Pale Ales. Boom. Hit. Well, speaking of which, set that up. When we're done, I'm going to hit that app.
Well, think about it. You normally order the same pizza every time you order.
Right. Absolutely. I don't vary much.
No.
And if I do, I typically order from a different place because I want a different type of pizza. But then they also have, that's an option with the Echo. You can say, Alexa, order my favorite pizza, or order me a pizza from Domino's. It'll automatically place the order and it shows up. I think, like I said, I think they're doing all the right things. Are there Domino's anywhere around here?
No.
We have one that they just opened up out by us. I also see that you can order from your smartwatch as well. Smartwatch, TVs, or even your car. So like I usually do in these scenarios, I give credit to Domino's for trying something different.
It's good they're ready to jump on the bandwagon.
Absolutely.
And move up with technology.
Tesla,
Right.
order me a pizza.
There you go.
That would be awesome. Yes, there needs to be an app on. Yeah, you guys are on the ball here.
I'm worth millions now.
Billions.
Billions.
Yeah, I think that's great. Good for them. Download the Zero Clips app. Cut it. Cutting it. No, we're good. On to the next one, as they say. You'll be able to play PlayStation 4 games on Mac and PC. So an update rolled out to the PlayStation 4 this week. I believe it was firmware 3.5 came out, which added a number of different features to the PlayStation 4. Being able to appear offline, receive notifications from certain friends when they come online, create scheduled events that can be seen by other members and people in your chat party. But the biggest feature was the ability to remote play from your desktop or laptop. So I've been able to do this from my Vita. Prior to this, the only way you could do it was with a PlayStation Vita or from an Xperia Android phone. So Sony's own phone line. So now you can do that. All you have to do is connect your PS4 your DualShock 4 remote via USB to your laptop, Mac, PC, whatever it is, or your desktop, and you have to download the Remote Play for Desktop app, and you're off and running. This is great. Sony really hit it out of the park with the PS4. They made a lot of good decisions, and they're continuing to grow that lead.
Well, you're going to get to 4.5 in another few months.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see that addition, which I haven't read too much about that. I'm guessing what they're going to do is build in the box for the VR.
It's a beefed up graphics processor.
Right.
Little newer hard drive and little newer processor.
Right. So these are all things that they've been hitting it out of the park. There's almost 40 million. I believe it's almost 40 million PlayStation 4s out in the market now. It's just great. Now the only downside to this is the resolutions are either 360p, 540p, or 720p, which that's pretty good. But it defaults to 540, and then the frame rates are either 30 or 60, and it defaults to 30. But you're playing remotely. You can't ask for I guess you can ask, but you can't expect the greatest fidelity in these types of scenarios. So
especially not from a console,
right?
I mean, you can always use Steam and stream just
right
the same way, but of course you're limited to however your desktop is.
Absolutely. But again, they're doing all the right things, just like Domino's. Wait, where is the Domino's app? The one-click order app for the PlayStation 4.
Maybe if we order one now till the time we're over,
right?
It'll be here.
Well, since I'll have to drive 50 minutes to get it here, it'll be interesting.
I guess this will be a long one, folks. All right, Jamie.
All right, the next one's an interesting one. Do you own a BB-8 unit?
No.
If you own a BB-8 unit, it will now be able to be set to watch Star Wars: The Force Awakens with you.
Holler at your boy. Yeah, so there is I guess this is via the BB-8 app on your phone. There will be a feature called Watch With Me, where the BB-8 will sit and watch the movie, and then there will be some reactions to different things in the movie.
Yeah, it seemed from what I saw that it was going to display sadness and happiness and different sounds.
Right. I think that's cool. And then they said there will also be relevant information displayed on the screen about the movie for people who haven't watched it before. Maybe they want some more detail. And this story as well is from Android Central. Apparently, we just like to cover all their stuff. And they say you can pick one up You can pick up a BB-8 for $129 through April 10th. I want one. I just can't justify that price.
No, there's just no way.
Right.
It is an awesome little toy that I think would be great, but your floor is going to have to be absolutely perfectly clean, or it's going to be dirty.
Right.
It's just.
I wish it was a little bigger too.
It is tiny.
It would be nice if it actually came with the Force Awakens.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Why
Yeah,
didn't
they
do a
should.
special edition.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so for, let's say, $150, maybe $160. No, they could do it for $150. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
a little
I would
discount.
imagine.
A little
yes.
discount on the BB-8,
Yep.
a little discount on the Blu-ray. You get the special edition, maybe a steel case for it, and for $150, you get the BB-8 and the movie.
That would be a stellar steal. That way I can put it on a shelf and never ever open it. And look
Right,
at it
and then-
forever.
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely, I think that's a great idea. Very cool. I like that. I want a BB-8. So next up, we are going to talk about a company that we've been talking about quite a lot
Yep.
lately. So T-Mobile is adding more services to their Music Freedom and their Binge On. So let's see. This week they added, so to the Music Freedom, they added Amazon Music, Chill Tracks, which I've never heard of, ESPN Radio, Ohio.fm, which has to be great. I mean, how could Ohio.fm not be great? Pre-Dans and Euphora. And then Binge On added Daily Motion, Epix, Nickelodeon, OV Guide, Own Zones, Spike, TV Land, Viki, Yip TV, and 120 Sports to its latest edition. And this is just, they also have a note in here that they just added My Candy. And that's a story that we covered a few
I'll
weeks ago.
stick to my candy.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
more interesting.
Right. We had a conversation about that after dinner today. But anyways, man, T-Mobile just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And they're really forcing the other mobile carriers to make changes that I don't think they would have made otherwise. They're forcing Verizon and AT&T and Sprint to, well, not Sprint, but Verizon and AT&T to look back at unlimited data again. They're forcing them to push these binge on style services. I know Verizon has a few.
Mhm.
I'm not sure about AT&T whether they.
No, but AT&T is doing unlimited data right now if you have Dish Network.
Right.
Oh, right.
That's right.
Exactly. So these are all things that otherwise I don't think we would
Mhm.
see happen. So I'm really happy that T-Mobile's doing these things. I wish their coverage was a little bit better, especially in more rural
Yeah.
areas.
It needs to be a lot of bit better.
Yeah, I think
Right,
you're right.
like local to us, we have one
Yes.
home network for,
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's college campus.
Yeah, we can get 1X service if we go to T-Mobile.
I would
That's it.
love to go
Yeah.
to T-Mobile.
Yeah, they do so many things right. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up this week. I think that T-Mobile just it's like every week they're releasing
Yep.
some other
There's
thing.
a different story of some type.
Absolutely. Good, bad, or indifferent. They're getting lots of press coverage, and this is, I really want to keep. I want to see them keep the pressure on these other companies,
Yep.
and it's gonna push everybody forward. So I'm really happy about this, and thank you to T-Mobile for doing these things. So now we're going to transition from T-Mobile to Verizon.
Yep. Apparently, Yahoo is up for sale. Surprise all around. I didn't realize until I read this story, but it says that Verizon and Google are both said to be preparing bids to buy Yahoo.
Yeah. So there was a story about this. It was either last week or the week
Mhm.
before, where there's some rumors out there that AT&T and Comcast as well were kind of looking into them. However, it seems like they've kind of dropped out of the running. But Time Incorporated is also one of these partners looking at them, and it sounds like they're kind of on the fence as to whether or not they will.
I see this as a Google purchase just to keep the others out.
Yeah,
Shut a competitor down, keep a new one from forming.
Yeah, I mean, and with all the things that are under the Yahoo umbrella, they would have a number of good.
Alphabet umbrella.
That's true. It is the Alphabet umbrella. You're right.
But Yahoo does own a lot. I mean,
Flickr, which there's still a lot of people, and that's used by photogs, I think. So people who are really into photography. Photography. So people who are into photography, because they also allow for the upload of large files, and they also allow unlimited storage.
Right.
So this is something also that Google allows, but it's only 16 megabyte pictures, nothing larger than that, nothing raw.
Yahoo owns Flickr, Rivals.com, Tumblr.
Tumblr, right.
Yes.
Along with a large list of their own music.
Well, there's also another, there's like an Indian company that they own as well, that it's like an Indian search engine, I believe, that it's really it's really widely used. Let me see if I can find it. Yahoo Indian. I could also be completely wrong.
They own a lot of companies that I can't pronounce.
That it's not Indian as well. Oh, it's is it Alibaba? Yes, they own Alibaba.
They own a large stake in Alibaba.
Okay. So, but they said that the I think the value of Alibaba itself is essentially worth the same as the rest of all of the things that Yahoo owns and Yahoo themselves. But one of the other interesting things in this story is that they said, where was it? That Verizon said that they would also be willing to acquire Yahoo's Japan Corp, that they think would sweeten the deal. So basically they would give them a little more money. I don't know how big Yahoo is in Japan, but apparently that means something to someone, not me or you.
No.
Or you. No. So I don't know if you know this. I'm not Japanese. I don't know if that's obvious, but so I don't know a lot about Japan. I'm sorry. I'll get better at that. And last story, Jamie. This is a really interesting one. It ties into something we covered a few weeks ago about the Apple Watch.
It says that we have another watch saving somebody's life, except this time it's a Fitbit, Charge HR. The gentleman was having rapid heart rate. He had a seizure. They were trying to pinpoint it, whether it was cardiac arrest, whether it was multiple things. But it turned out that the Fitbit Charge had been recording his heart rate regularly, and they were able to go back and see that his heart rate was only elevated during the seizures.
Right. So they said that typically they were able to determine his heartbeat was typically 70 to 80 beats per minute, which is still a little high.
It is a little high.
But it only jumped to 150 beats per minute, which is, that's fast. 150 beats per minute the moment the seizure began. So then they were able to do a cardioversion procedure, which was able to bring his heart rate back down and make it regular again, rather than the irregular rate that it was at. So again, they say in this story that they're not using, these aren't acknowledged as medical devices at this point. However, there's multiple stories that we keep reporting on and seeing and reading about these things making saving people's lives from heart attacks and strokes and just these really odd events. And I think these things alone are enough to say, hey, spend $100 and it may
Save your life.
help you down the line, right?
Right.
Absolutely. It gives some baseline data that you otherwise wouldn't have unless you go to the doctor a lot and they know what your heart rate is. But this is just a really great thing that I'm I'm amazed that these things have made such an impact in such a short period of time. We haven't
Yep.
seen these heart rate monitors
Mm-mm.
in watches for more than 3 years, maybe. Is probably about the time period that we've seen them. Um, but it's really been it's phenomenal the things that we're seeing happen, and I think everybody should, you know, everybody should grab one, and it's a great just in case, I think. And with the expansions that we're going to see in Android Wear and the Watch OS, this is really something they're pushing forward, especially Apple. I like to knock them a lot on the podcast, but they do a lot of good, and they're really pushing out that health kit and trying to get people to to build apps for it and record data and get doctors on board with this as well. And I think at some point we're going to see these acknowledged in the medical community
Yep.
as an extra benefit to your doctor, so that they can have a little bit more insight into your daily life than they would typically have.
Right.
I just I really like these things. I would like for my watch to, we both have first gen Moto 360s, and I would like it to just take my heart rate occasionally without having to do it manually. That's the only thing that I don't like. So
Well, not just that, the band. I don't keep my band tight enough for it to even work unless I'm forcing it.
yeah,
to.
that's true as well. But these heart rate sensors are getting better, and I think we're going to see a lot of things changing in that field in the upcoming future here. But that wraps us up on story. So since I'm going to buy a new Android Wear watch, I guess, so that I can have a better heart rate sensor, Jamie, you need to save me some money. How are you going to save me money this
All
week?
right. So first up is a little more of a your mileage may vary one. It is a Seagate 2 terabyte external hard drive, the little tiny drive. It's $27 on clearance at Target.
Wow.
I posted the link. You can use BrickSeek. Try and take a little bit of legwork out, and at least it might show you where there's some in stock, and it will show you the clearance price at that store.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you have kids or you're a big Minecraft fan, they have Minecraft Story Mode Episode 1 for 50 cents.
Which I bought.
On
Why not
Android.
for 50 cents?
Yep. Kids love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
For $179.99, you can get a 32-inch Insignia Smart LED TV. It has your Roku software built in.
Very nice. I love my Roku.
Yep.
You?
I use it every day.
Yeah.
All day long.
Yeah, I love the Roku.
If you're in need of a micro SD memory card, we got a 128 gig one for $29.99 on Amazon.
Right. That's a UHS.
Yep. This one is a little more complicated. It's an HP OfficeJet Pro 8610, but it is an all-in-one wireless printer. You can get it for $56.99, or if you're a little more creative and willing to ask, you can get it for $48.44.
Okay.
Wow.
And when I say a little more creative, you have to price match Best Buy, which has it on sale.
Not
So
a problem.
110% price match. That's
Okay.
easy enough.
Okay.
Now, the creative part you got to be willing to ask is there's a 15% off coupon on regular priced items at Staples. After the price match, you're no longer regular price.
Right. So you have to get a manager that's nice enough.
The cashier will do it.
Will they? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
If the cashier's willing to do it, it'll go through.
I'm guessing you've tried this before?
Yes.
That does not surprise me.
Yes. I have some coworkers that don't like to go along into Staples because
Because they feel awkward.
apparently I'm ripping them off, and
they do it. They want to keep you coming back, and they do,
Yep.
right? I mean, they may lose money every time you're there, but they
Not
keep
every
you coming.
time.
I'm sure. And the thing is, I give credit to those companies when they honor those deals. I continue to go to that store, even if there's something that I'm not going to get for a phenomenal sale, just because I like to give them money then, because they're doing the right thing. They're being they're doing the right thing in business. And
I had one of
honoring
those
their
this week
customers.
though. I bought the magnetic car cell phone mount off of Amazon.
Mhm.
After the coupon, it was $0 and 0 shipping.
Wow.
It was literally free.
Wow. Yeah.
And
you
they
can't beat
honored
that.
it and shipped it.
Right. That's very nice. Well, I appreciate the deals. Save me some money this week. What have you been watching?
The biggest thing I've watched this week was a full season of Brickleberry.
Okay.
It is about Brickleberry. It is a state park,
Okay.
and it is about the park rangers and a baby bear.
All right.
It is not a kid show. They do swear and say obscene things.
Right up his alley.
Yes,
So-
it is quite funny though.
Yeah.
I showed these guys a little bit of a clip on it earlier.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I'll go next. I've been watching nothing but Harley Morenstein vlogs. So Jamie sent me a clip earlier this week, and since that point, I think I've literally watched nothing else except hours and hours of Harley Morenstein. The one night I went downstairs after I put the kids to bed. It was roughly 9 o'clock, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch one or two of these." 11 o'clock, I'm still watching. 11:30, I'm still watching.
Yep.
And I just started another one that was roughly a half an hour, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just watch a couple minutes of it, and then I'll shut it off and go to bed." Finished that one too, and then went to bed. And I was like, "Man, I can't get enough of this guy. I don't know why." They're really good. They're really entertaining. So for those of you who don't know, Harley is one of the creators of Epic Mealtime.
He is the creator.
The creator. Well, I think him and Amir are they consider each other co-creators, but
He is the sauce boss.
he is the sauce boss,
Yeah, I
right?
got you.
The sauce. But those are very funny.
Yes. I've been watching those for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm
Almost
trying.
since they've started.
Yeah, I'm
and
trying to
it's
get
been-
caught up on that. So John, what have you been watching?
I've been watching a lot of the hydraulic press channel.
Okay.
It's just pretty simple. Hydraulic press, just smashing completely random objects. Just from basic stuff like coins, even bowling balls, other hydraulic presses even that have been smashed.
That's pretty cool. I haven't watched any of that. I'm gonna have to try that though, because I went through a phase where I watched those hot nickel ball videos.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that same
idea,
vein, yeah.
Just enough to keep your attention. It's like, what's it gonna do?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So and then the hot nickel ball videos that I've watched are, they put hot nickel balls in like in a swimming pool or on a block of cheese. It's just like really random stuff to see what's gonna happen. Dry ice,
Yep.
all kinds of stuff. So that's very cool. So I'll have to check those out as well. So Jamie, what's the funniest thing you've seen this week?
It is a parody of The Nightmare Before Christmas. It is called The Nightmare Before St. Patrick's Day.
Okay,
And it is about Jack Skeleton drinking some beer
of course.
and going around on St. Patrick's Day. And it's quite interesting. It's his first beer. He doesn't like it. He keeps watching the other people drinking, and he drinks his next one. And through the course of the song, he gets a little drunk, throws up, and gets arrested.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. So since all I've been watching is these Harley Morenstein vlogs, one of those were one of the funniest things I've seen this week, which was actually the first one that Jamie
Yep.
sent to me. It's a sick vlog fashion show, where
It is the perfect one to start with.
it was so awesome. Like So he sends it to me, and he's like, oh, start watching it
17 minutes
right,
in.
whatever. So he's obsessed with these long tees, and he's like trying on these long tees and these tight ripped jeans and all this all these clothes. And he's like, I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you don't like it. He's like, I'm on that long tee tip, you know? So definitely watch Sick. If you haven't watched any, watch Sick Vlog Fashion Show first, and you'll probably get hooked like me.
Yeah.
And John's we watched just before. Why don't you tell us about yours?
Watching Killer Bees elevator prank. It's I believe it's Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah. Guy gets in an elevator carrying a bunch of boxes full of bees, supposedly.
Right.
Obviously, it's not.
Right.
And another person's trapped in there with him, and he drops the boxes and makes them cover their heads and starts throwing confetti on them. Even goes as far as to prick some of them in the back of the neck with a toothpick just to scare the living daylights out of them. I can't imagine being stuck like that. Just absolutely laugh like crazy.
Yeah, so that it really reminds me of, there's a whole line, I don't remember. We talked about them before. There were prank videos where there would be like a killer clown.
Oh, the killer clown.
Clown.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
This really reminds me of that.
Yep.
Same type of video style, but just hilarious. Because these people just they fall to the floor and cover their heads, and he's just throwing
flail.
He's like throwing confetti on them and pricking them. It's so funny because they believe these are killer bees, so they're gonna die. Right? Oh man, that's just so funny, so funny. I really like that one. So we're gonna move on to our tips, picks, or tricks of the week. I'm going to start us off. So this week, my pick are the Jaybird X2 Sport Wireless Bluetooth headphones, specifically in Storm White, because those are the ones that I have. So these are the second iteration of the Jaybird headphones, the wireless headphones that everybody really liked the first version. These are just the second iteration. They are phenomenal. So I've had the LG True Tone, the HB730s, I think was the model number of them. Those were pretty good, but I had issues with them when I was running. They would get sweaty and the buttons would stop working. These are 100% sweat, 100% sweat proof. If they ever are damaged because of sweat, they will warranty replace them. I've never had an issue. The only thing that I don't like is I wish the charge lasted as long as my LGs, but they're not anywhere near the size. There's 2 earbuds with a wire connecting them, and that's it. Super comfortable. They have fins, so they stay in your ear when you're active, sweating, whatever the case may be, and I love them. So I think they're running around $140 on Amazon right now. Yeah, $139.09. List price is $180. So you can buy them used for $98. Thank you for pointing that out. These things are phenomenal. I really like them. The only thing I would suggest is don't buy them in white like I did. I notice from either carrying them in my jacket pocket or just them, I constantly leave them around my neck all day, just hanging around the back of my neck and hanging up front here. And just from rubbing on clothes, they get a little discolored. So if you're concerned about that, maybe buy the black or the blue, or they do like an army olive gray or olive green. Any other color would be okay. I like the white, so I deal with it. You really don't notice it that much, except when you really look at them. They charge via micro USB. They charge in about an hour, and they last about 8 hours on a charge, which is really good for as small as they are. So those are the Jaybird X2 Sport Wireless Bluetooth headphones. That is my pick. Jamie, what do you have?
A little more expensive of a pick. Just a little. I bought a
Just the tip.
Huawei Nexus 6P.
Whoop.
Yep. Matte Gold Edition, 64 gigs is what I went with. And I did that because it was a $50 gift card if I went with the Gold Edition. Why not?
Right. Absolutely.
So far, it has been absolutely spectacular. Far better cellular coverage than I was getting out of my OnePlus.
11. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Also, not the issues that you were having with your OnePlus.
yeah, no random reboots or locked at a black screen or
Right.
it did live a rough life. I mean,
Yeah.
my phones do. I don't use a case. I don't like that. I carry it in my pocket, bounce it on the concrete. It lives a rough life.
Right. So I will chime in very briefly. I got to check it out for a little while today. Beautiful phone.
Yep.
I love the
Very
look
nice.
of it. Has nice chamfered edges. The little hump in the back for the camera and the sensors.
It's minimal.
Oh, it's ever so slight, and I don't think it looked bad at all. Like we were talking about when they first showed the press renderings of it, it looked a lot
Yep.
bigger. That hump looked bigger. It's barely, like, if you just look at the phone, you don't even think there's a hump there. I actually asked him to look at it so I could feel and see if there was
Yep.
a hump there. Just a beautiful phone. The screen is gorgeous.
Yep. Front-facing speakers, stock Android. It's
Fast fingerprint sensor.
fingerprint sensor on the back.
Which he was commenting about LastPass and having the fingerprint sensor
Yep.
and how nice that is. And I said, yeah, I've been using that for a little while now since I got Marshmallow on my phone.
Mhm.
I've been using it nonstop. It's really great.
The
So-
big perk is I'm less than a month and I go Android N.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'll let you know how Android N is on my phone in about a year and a half, probably.
When you
Yeah, probably.
upgrade.
Right. Yeah, really. Yeah, beautiful phone. Anything else you want to add?
The cost is spectacular for what you get. I ended up spending $500,
Right.
but it is well worth it.
And the build quality
Yep.
is top notch.
It's all cut out of a solid piece of aluminum.
And being that it's a Chinese manufacturer,
Yep.
Huawei, this is their first major release within the United States. They really hit it out of the park. And just this week, they announced that they're going to release more phones in the U.S. So that's great. So the Huawei 6P.
Yep.
John, what was your pick?
Speaking of hitting it out of the park, I've downloaded the 9 Innings 2016 Pro Baseball app. It's a free app because I'm a lot tighter than these guys are, obviously. I don't like to spend my money.
You got to have things to talk about on the podcast.
Right. We do it for you.
Maybe you can start buying me stuff
There
to
we go.
talk about.
It's for you guys.
I ordered a dash button last time while we were on the podcast.
Yep.
But now, since the baseball seasons began, 2016, just covers all the teams, every one of them,
Mhm.
American National League, both. You pick your team, go through, you can choose if you want to play every game of the season along with playoffs, all-star game, and it's a card style setup as far as upgrading your players and adding whoever you want onto your team.
Okay.
Of course, there's in-app purchases if
That's what I was going to ask.
if you want to get extra players or and it's random as you draw the players.
Okay.
Uh,
So it's like a fantasy draft?
yeah,
Kind
pretty
of?
much.
Okay.
Pretty much. There is a way that you can go and purchase other people's cards
So
for whatever price
say-
they want.
So is it like if you and I had the app and I have whoever, like I don't watch baseball, but if I have a
Yeah.
specific player and I have their card and you want it, I could sell that card to you.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
very
Yeah,
cool.
you name your price, and of course, as you go through the game, there's different achievements to
Okay.
game points where you can purchase that way.
Did
also,
you say
very-
achievements or achievements?
It's achievements.
Achievements.
It's achievements. We're on that Domino's tip right now.
That's right. Into the cheese, extra cheese.
Of course, it is almost like midnight. It's 11:30.
This is by far the latest we've recorded, but very cool. That's great. So that is 9 Innings 2016 Pro Baseball on the Google Play Store. So like we do every week, we will have links to all of the things that we've talked about today in the show notes. That will be the Avoid Overload podcast, episode 16 show notes, which will be on avoidoverload.com. Do you guys have anything else you want to share this week? No?
Good. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Great. Glad
So-
you guys have me.
Yeah, thank you to John. And again, you can reach him at Big Bad John, that's JON 08 on Xbox Live. Hit him up. You can play with him. This is infamous _ Jamie on Twitter and
Yep.
on PS4. Big Jamie
On
on Xbox Live.
Yep.
Natalist pretty much everywhere. So thank you everyone for joining us this week. We hope to see you next week on episode number 17. And thank you. We're out. Peace.